How long does pool plaster last? Well, that's kind of like asking, how long does a car last? Kind of depends on what the car is used for and who's taking care of it. And a swimming pool is kind of the same thing. You know, pool plaster in Arizona is probably going to last not nearly as long as a pool plaster, say, in Seattle. And the reason being is that there's a lot more sun and heat that a pool plaster in Arizona is going to have to deal with versus a pool plaster in a more temperate climate like Seattle. So to answer the question, how long does a pool plaster last? Well, a pool plaster could last up to 20 years, let's say, perhaps even longer, back in previous decades where things like asbestos fibers used to be added to plaster mixes to make them last a really long time. But with current day standards, a pool plaster is only going to last anywhere from 7 years up to maybe 12 years on average. In order to last upwards of 20 years, what you would have to be very good with is your water chemistry. The number one thing that's going to determine how long your pool plaster lasts is how well you manage your chemistry. There's still a lot of pool owners out there who kind of just look at the water every now and again and say, oh, I can tell just by looking whether it's balanced or not. And the reality is that's not true. You might be able to tell whether the water is clean or not, or whether maybe there's any chlorine in the water or not, because if you don't have any, the water's green. It's pretty easy to tell that the water is not okay when it's green. But there's a lot more happening there with that acidity and alkalinity balance with the pH that happens in your pool, and that's very, very important in terms of how long different components of your pool will last, one of which is your pool plaster. So the better you are with your water chemistry, the longer your pool plaster is going to last. If you're really, really bad with your water and you don't manage it properly, your plaster might only last 3 years or less. But if you're reasonably good with your water chemistry, you should find that you get between 7 to 10 to 12 years for an average pool plaster. If you found this information helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.